WWE SmackDown kicked off with an announcement from The Miz, who eagerly informed the audience about the upcoming marquee match. King Booker, accompanied by his regal partner Queen Sharmell, was set to face off against the powerhouse Bobby Lashley. The anticipation was palpable, especially with King Booker and Sharmell's elaborate and drawn-out entrance. JBL's amusing infatuation with King Booker added an extra layer of entertainment to the proceedings. As King Booker and Queen Sharmell basked in their royal aura, an unexpected turn of events unfolded. William Regal and Fit Finlay emerged from the shadows and initiated a ruthless assault on Lashley in the aisle, forming an impromptu trio with Sharmell passionately cheering them on. Just when it seemed that Lashley was outnumbered, reinforcements arrived in the form of Matt Hardy and Gunnar Scott, who rushed to the rescue. Sharmell found refuge behind her king, hinting at her penchant for psychological manipulation. General Manager Theodore Long entered the scene and found King Booker and Queen Sharmell, ensuring them that the match with Lashley was still on. However, King Booker claimed not to have his boots on. In a humorous twist, Long suggested that the Queen should assist her king in putting on his boots, which led to accusations of selling out from the royal duo as Long departed.
Come on now, Teddy!
The main event of the evening, King Booker accompanied by Queen Sharmell versus Bobby Lashley, commenced as scheduled. Sharmell refrained from interfering in the match but passionately cheered for her king throughout the contest. King Booker employed a sidekick that garnered a near fall, and he continued to apply a chinlock to maintain control. However, Lashley showcased his incredible strength, powering out and ultimately catching King Booker with a devastating power slam to secure the victory. SmackDown concluded with a deflated King Booker and an equally disheartened Queen Sharmell, as Lashley's triumph sent shockwaves through the arena. Regal, in his usual grandeur, introduced King Booker.
Please welcome His Royal Majesty. All hail King Booker! All hail King Booker!
And the royal procession made its way to the ring. JBL, ever the showman, paid his respects with a bow as King Booker made his entrance. The match kicked off with Booker asserting his dominance, delivering chops in the corner. However, the resilient Lashley retaliated with shoulder thrusts and a thunderous vertical suplex, signaling that the bout would be a clash of titans. As the action unfolded, Booker, displaying his cunning tactics, targeted Lashley's injured leg, seizing any opportunity to gain an advantage. The intensity escalated with Lashley chants echoing through the arena, showcasing the fervor of the WWE faithful. Lashley, undeterred, unleashed a powerful running shoulder block that left Booker turning inside out, momentarily shifting the momentum. As the battle raged on, Booker resorted to hanging Lashley over the top rope and revisiting the assault on his injured leg. The tension reached its peak as Booker applied a single-leg Boston Crab, forcing Lashley to crawl desperately towards the ropes for salvation. The ever-scheming William Regal added a cheap shot, setting the stage for Booker's jumping sidekick, nearly securing a pinfall, with Finlay making an unexpected entrance just before the commercial break. The narrative took a surprising twist when Lashley, displaying immense strength, executed 3 consecutive body slams. However, Booker, refusing to be outdone, tossed Lashley to the outside, where Finlay cunningly interjected himself into the fray, striking Lashley with his trusty shillelagh. As the tension escalated, Sharmell took a bold step by introducing a steel chair into the equation. However, Lashley, determined to overcome the odds, turned the tables by using the chair on both Regal and Booker, resulting in a disqualification. The match may have ended, but the ramifications of this encounter promised to linger. Booker T and Queen Sharmell conveyed to Teddy Long that Booker T wouldn't have to face Lashley again, allowing them to live happily ever after.
See, it's not gonna happen again. That sucker tried to take me out tonight.
That's right, you
saw it. See, King Booker and Queen Sharmell will never set foot in the ring with that peasant again.
Teddy surprised them by arranging a steel cage match instead.
Get the bot, man.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Booker and Queen Sharmell storm into Teddy Long's office, demanding changes to the upcoming cage match.
Go ahead, eat.
However, their fervent pleas fall on deaf ears as Long remains resolute in his decision.
Hey, what's wrong with you? You should be happy. Your match tonight with Bobby Lashley is for the United States Championship, player.
Happy?
Booker, adopting the regal demeanor.
Look, man, you put prisoners in a cage.
That's right.
You put stray dogs in a cage. You put hobos in a cage. But not kings.
Draws parallels between himself and a gladiator.
I don't give a damn.
What?
Tonight, you're gonna compete in that steel cage match, and that's final.
An end to Bobby Lashley's reign in old head. The anticipation builds as the U.S. title cage match between Bobby Lashley and King Booker, accompanied by William Regal and Sharmell, takes center stage. The presence of Regal and the admiration from JBL for Queen Sharmell's beauty add layers of intrigue to the bout. The match kicks off with Lashley showcasing his dominance, driving shoulders into Booker's ribs in the corner. However, Booker retaliates by sending Lashley face first into the unforgiving steel cage, with Finlay making his presence felt, hammering away on Lashley as Booker dishes out right hands and chops. The intense battle continues, with Lashley countering Booker's escape attempts and demonstrating his resilience. A spinebuster from Lashley plants Booker, returning with Lashley being sent face first into the middle buckle, only to defiantly thwart Booker's escape yet again. The drama unfolds with the bookend and the axe kick, each delivering punishing blows to Lashley, but the determined champion refuses to let Booker escape the cage. Lashley fights back with a powerful running power slam, signaling a potential turning point. However, the ringside interference from Regal and Finlay, armed with chairs, adds an element of chaos to the proceedings. In a thrilling climax, Lashley manages to toss Booker down, ascend to the top of the cage, and make a daring escape to retain the US title. On this action-packed episode of SmackDown, the stakes are sky high as a #1 contender battle royal unfolds, promising the winner a coveted shot at Rey Mysterio's World Heavyweight Championship at the upcoming Great American Bash. The anticipation is at a fever pitch as the final entrants make their way to the ring, with none other than King Booker and his Regal cohort, Regal, making a grand entrance accompanied by Queen Sharmell. As the bell rings, the ring is instantly transformed into a chaotic battleground, with superstars from all corners of the roster engaging in an all-out brawl. Amid the bedlam, Finlay executes a decisive move, eliminating Crazy and Psychosis from the fray. The breakneck pace continues with additional eliminations, including the exit of Cash, setting the stage for the next chapter in this high-stakes contest. Returning from the break, the focus narrows on London, Kendrick, Finlay, Regal, Hardy, and Booker, each competitor vying for the golden opportunity to face Rey Mysterio. In a thrilling sequence, London manages to stave off Booker's elimination attempt, but Finlay seizes the moment to eliminate both London and Kendrick, hits a twist of fate, positioning himself as a formidable contender. In a stunning turn of events, the ring is left with only Hardy, Regal, and Booker. Hardy, showcasing his resilience, delivers a powerful clothesline that momentarily shifts the momentum. Yet, the numbers game catches up with him as Regal and Booker join forces to double-team the charismatic high flyer. Despite Hardy's valiant efforts, it's Booker who ultimately seizes the moment, eliminating both Regal and Hardy simultaneously, and securing the highly coveted title shot against Rey Mysterio at the Great American Bash. The arena erupts with a mix of cheers and jeers as King Booker stands tall, ready to lay claim to the World Heavyweight Championship. In a backstage segment on SmackDown, Crystal takes center stage as she interviews the legendary Rey Mysterio, as Rey expresses his disdain for the brutal actions carried out by Mark Henry in the previous week. Targeting both himself and Chavo Guerrero, Rey makes it clear that there is unfinished business between him and the powerhouse Mark Henry. Rey acknowledges the looming challenge ahead, a showdown against none other than King Booker at the upcoming Great American Bash. He speaks passionately about the significance of every day he gets to carry the title home, emphasizing the importance of the prestigious championship in his life. With determination in his eyes, Rey declares that at the Great American Bash, King Booker is just one more opponent standing in the way of his coveted championship. With Queen Sharmell at his side, King Booker promises nothing short of regal dominance in his pursuit of the World Championship. His words resonate with authority, each proclamation carrying the weight of his royal lineage. To celebrate the grand proclamation and set the stage for the impending regal reign, Regal raises a toast to Booker, using none other than champagne to mark the occasion. The clinking of glasses echoes through the arena as Booker, Queen Sharmell, and Regal engage in this symbolic and extravagant gesture. SmackDown ring, the regal presence of King Booker is felt, accompanied by his queen, Sharmell, and the esteemed William Regal. Regal takes the center stage and proceeds to read a royal decree, boldly declaring that King Booker will emerge victorious against Rey Mysterio for the World Heavyweight Championship at the upcoming Bash.
These people do not know the privilege that they have to be in the presence of royalty.
Regal, ever loyal, vows to secure a triumph over Rey Mysterio in tonight's match for the honor of Queen Sharmell and King Booker. Booker expresses his gratitude to Regal, affirming his confidence in defeating Mysterio for the world title at the Bash. Adding fuel to the fire, Booker recalls the recent return and asserts that during that time, he was backstage delivering a royal beating to Rey Mysterio. Out of nowhere, Booker T makes a surprise appearance, launching a ferocious attack on Rey.
Big right hand. Oh, just bounced him. Oh, bounce. Please, get you some. Oh!
And leaving the world champion battered, with the final blow being a groin kick from Sharmell. In a boastful proclamation, Booker declares that Rey's fairy tale dreams are now shattered. He confidently asserts that everyone will bow down to him. However, the atmosphere shifts as Rey Mysterio's music hits. Seizing the element of surprise, Rey launches a counterattack, assaulting Booker and Regal, leaving them lying in the ring. The match between William Regal and the World Heavyweight Champion, Rey Mysterio, unfolds with King Booker and Queen Sharmell joining JBL and Michael Cole on commentary. Regal starts with a headlock on Mysterio, who manages to escape only to have his tilt-a-whirl head scissors reversed. Rey counters with a pair of standing dropkicks, followed by a running leg drop. The tide turns when Sharmell unintentionally provides a distraction. Rey then executes the Bronco Buster, followed by the split-legged moonsault for another near fall. Rey targets King Booker with a baseball slide, and after arm-dragging Regal position, Rey successfully hits and finishes Regal with a frog splash, securing the victory. Post-match, Rey doesn't let King Booker off the hook. He delivers a 619 around the post to the King and follows up with a seated senton, leaving Booker incapacitated on the floor. Rey stands tall, asserting his dominance as the World Heavyweight Champion. On a thrilling Saturday night main event, the electrifying trio of Rey Mysterio, Dave, and Lashley faced off against the formidable team of King Booker with Queen Sharmell, Finlay, and Mark Henry. The opening bout showcased a fierce exchange between Finlay and Lashley, with the latter dominating early on, delivering a powerful overhead belly-to-belly suplex. The intensity escalated, leading to a standoff between all 6 competitors just before a commercial break. The action resumed with Rey Mysterio and Finlay inside the squared circle. Finlay asserted his control with a headlock, but Rey fought back, countering with elbows. A well-executed boot and moonsault by Rey earned a close 2 count, saved by Booker and Henry. Chaos ensued as Lashley chased Booker outside the ring, and Finlay introduced Hornswoggle, leading to a vicious assault on Rey with the shillelagh. Dave and Lashley rushed to Rey's aid, but Finlay continued the punishment upon his return. Booker tagged in and unleashed a relentless attack on Rey, subsequently tagging in Mark Henry for more punishment. Despite Henry's headbutts, Rey managed to evade a corner charge and delivered a series of kicks. A basement dropkick set the stage for Rey's attempt to tag. However, Rey rallied, countering with chops against Booker and executing an impressive Rana. Sensing the opportunity, Rey crawled towards his corner. The animal unleashed a barrage of slams on Finlay and Booker, culminating in a spinebuster to the latter. As chaos unfolded with Lashley brawling with Finlay outside the ring, Rey seized the moment to execute the 619, capitalized on the opening, delivering a devastating bomb to Booker for the pinfall victory. In the backstage area of SmackDown, Teddy Long engages in a conversation with Chavo Guerrero, urging him to reconsider his retirement. However, their discussion is abruptly interrupted as King Booker and Queen Sharmell burst in, demanding a match against Rey Mysterio for the night. Teddy Long responds by stating that he will take their request into consideration. Focus shifts to an intense match, Rey Mysterio versus King Booker with Queen Sharmell. We enter the match with King Booker holding a knuckle lock on Rey. Rey counters with kicks and delivers mounted punches in the corner. A spinning head scissors follows, and Rey attempts a 619. But Booker evades and retreats to the outside. Rey pursues and executes a seated senton to the floor. Back in the ring, Booker regains control with a series of chops. Rey is whipped into the corner and tries for the head scissors again, but Booker throws him off and follows up with a pair of clotheslines. A side kick from Booker gets a 2 count, and he applies an arm lock. Rey fights back, off the ropes, but runs into a high elbow from Booker. Booker springs Rey off the ropes into a well-executed suplex for another near fall. Booker applies a sleeper hold, and Rey battles back, only to receive a falling front slam for his troubles. Booker continues with more chops, an Irish whip, and Rey counters into a wheelbarrow bulldog. Rey follows up with a basement dropkick and a seated senton for a 2 count. Booker finds himself in the turnbuckle, and Rey baseball slides into a low blow on Booker. Rey goes for a roll-up, but it only gets a 2 count. A drop toe hold sets up the 619, but Sharmell trips Rey. As Booker goes for the bookend, Chavo Guerrero intervenes, tripping Booker. Rey seizes the opportunity, delivering a dropkick into the 619, followed by the dropping the dime for the 1-2-3. Rey Mysterio secures another victory in a thrilling contest. The world title match unfolded in a clash of titans as Rey Mysterio defended his championship against the imposing King Booker, flanked by the regal presence of Queen Sharmell. The bout commenced with a traditional lockup, and to everyone's surprise, King Booker displayed chivalry by breaking cleanly in the corner. A subsequent lockup saw King Booker asserting his dominance, taking Rey down and unleashing a relentless barrage of strikes upon the resilient champion. Thunderous chops resonated throughout the arena, each echoing the grandeur befitting King. Snapmare and an emphatic leg drop continued to exert his dominance with calculated knee strikes and a powerful slam, firmly establishing his claim to the championship. Down Rey. Undeterred, Rey fought back valiantly, using elbows to free himself and executing a snapmare followed by a lightning-quick dropkick, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats. The ebb and flow of the match saw King Booker delivering a thumb to Rey's eye and unleashing a barrage of chops. The tension escalated with shoulder blocks in the corner, culminating in a dramatic moment as King Booker missed a charge and collided with the unforgiving steel post. Seizing the opportunity, Rey ascended to the top rope, delivering a spectacular seated senton that left the audience in awe. Back in the ring, Rey attempted a springboard splash, garnering a close 2 count and intensifying the struggle for supremacy. As the match progressed, both competitors showcased their resilience and determination. King Booker executed a Royal Three Amigos, showcasing his regal wrestling prowess. The momentum swung back and forth, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats. In a pivotal moment, Rey set up for his signature 619, only to face interference from Queen Sharmell. The referee, in response to her interference, ejected her from ringside, restoring a sense of order to the proceedings. However, chaos ensued with a referee bump, and the match took an unexpected turn with a low blow by King Booker and an astonishing intervention by Chavo armed with a chair. Rey, unfortunately, fell victim to the unforeseen chair shot, leaving him vulnerable to King Booker's opportunistic cover. With the referee back in action, King Booker seized the moment and secured the victory, reclaiming the world title in a shocking and unforeseen turn of events. In a regal spectacle, Queen Sharmell graciously invites everyone to witness the grandest coronation in WWE history.
I cordially invite all of you.
The anticipation builds as the world champion, King Booker, and Queen Sharmell make their entrance. The red carpet is adorned with little girls tossing roses, and a magnificent white carriage carries the royal couple to the ring. Queen Sharmell, with a royal wave, adds a touch of elegance, while red and white balloons create a captivating ambience. But the crowd responds with boos. Booker, wearing a humbled expression, stands alongside Queen Sharmell as she addresses the crowd,
Bow down!
urging them to bow down to the new king of the world. As King Booker expresses gratitude to his royal subjects,
Thank you all!
The coronation takes a surprising turn when Rey Mysterio interrupts the proceedings. The jumping senton onto the royal king disrupts the supposed mercy and benevolence, landing squarely on his throne, further stirring the upheaval in the regal celebration. The interruption adds an element of unpredictability to the coronation, creating tension between the reigning monarch and the defiant Rey Mysterio. In the much-anticipated world title rematch, the air is electric as King Booker makes his regal entrance into the ring. The audience's excitement reaches a crescendo as Rey Mysterio strides down to the ring, setting the stage for a high-stakes championship showdown. Booker takes an early advantage, imposing his will on Rey by driving him into the corner. However, Rey quickly turns the tables with a right hand and a well-timed kick to the choppers, launching a series of near falls that showcase his unwavering resilience. Displaying his trademark agility, Rey executes a bulldog, momentarily gaining the upper hand in the match. Upon the return, King Booker manages to kick Rey in the gut but misses the scissors kick. Rey, in a display of tenacity, responds with 10 punches in the corner, even at the expense of hurting his own hand. The back-and-forth action continues, with King Booker countering Rey's offense and potentially causing damage to Rey's knee. The echoes of Eddie chants reverberate through the arena, creating an emotional undercurrent to the match. Rey fights back, delivering a poignant homage to Eddie Guerrero with the execution of the Three Amigos. However, the emotional resonance takes a sharp turn when Sharmell distracts the referee, providing an opening for Chavo Guerrero to intervene. Seizing the opportunity created by Chavo's interference, King Booker delivers a decisive scissors kick, securing the victory with Chavo's assistance. King Booker and Queen Sharmell revel in their triumph on the top of the ramp. Backstage, Sharmell is seen providing a morale boost to King Booker as he mentally prepares for his upcoming match against The Undertaker. With a blend of confidence and loyalty, Sharmell reminds her husband of his regal status,
Time to show the world how great you are.
emphasizing that while The Undertaker may be a formidable opponent, he does not hold the title of King of the World. She assures King Booker that by the end of their match, The Undertaker himself will be compelled to acknowledge Booker's superiority, declaring,
All hail King Booker!
King Booker, embodying the essence of royalty, made his entrance each step a testament to his self-assured dominance. His opponent, The Undertaker, a legend in his own right, countered with an entrance that was both familiar and awe-inspiring, the chilling toll of the bell sending waves of anticipation through the crowd. As the bell rang, King Booker's strategy became immediately apparent. His retreat from the ring at the onset was not an act of cowardice but a calculated maneuver to disrupt The Undertaker's momentum. It was clear that the psychological warfare would be as critical as the physical. King Booker's thumb to the eye and tight headlock were early attempts to assert control, but The Undertaker's response, a display of his legendary resilience and strength, quickly shifted the balance. The match unfolded with a series of strategic moves and counter-moves. King Booker, ever the tactician, worked to maintain the upper hand, targeting The Undertaker with precision and brutality outside the ring. Yet, The Undertaker's power was on full display as he launched King Booker over his head with one arm, a moment that electrified the audience and underscored the supernatural strength at his command. The intensity within the ring never waned, continued his assault, but The Undertaker's indomitable will and physical prowess saw him fighting back. As the match progressed, Queen Sharmell's presence at ringside became a pivotal factor, her distraction allowing King Booker a momentary advantage. However, The Undertaker's quick recovery and subsequent focus on King Booker's left shoulder showcased his strategic mind and physical dominance. His successful execution of the old-school rope walk and a flatliner brought the crowd to its feet, landing devastating blows. The dynamic between the two superstars was a compelling narrative of resilience, strategy, and sheer force, in executing his signature moves with precision. Each move a testament to his enduring skill and charisma. Yet, just as The Undertaker seemed poised for victory, the unexpected interference of the Great Khali turned the tide. The subsequent disqualification, while frustrating, set the stage for a confrontation that went beyond the bounds of a single match. In a regal scene backstage, King Booker is accompanied by his devoted queen, Sharmell. With an air of grandeur, King Booker ponders aloud, questioning how many formidable foes he must conquer to solidify his claim as the undisputed king of the world. Ever the supportive consort, Queen Sharmell interjects, reminding King Booker that the quantity of challengers is inconsequential. Emphasizing the significance of the impending showdown at SummerSlam, she highlights the animal as the pinnacle of their conquest, a challenge that will serve as King Booker's crowning achievement. King Booker and Queen Sharmell, the regal duo, grace the ringside with their royal presence, taking their places at the commentary table to oversee the night's main event. The anticipation in the air is palpable. The animal, showcasing his dominant strength, initially overpowers Finlay, setting the tone for the match. He tags in Lashley, who continues the momentum with powerful right hands against Regal. Despite Lashley's efforts, the tide turns when Finlay cunningly exploits the ring to his advantage, introducing Lilby from under the ring to slam onto Lashley, turning the match in their favor. Regal and Finlay, with their seasoned strategy, manage to isolate Lashley, preventing him from tagging in the animal. Finlay locking in a chinlock and delivering a significant clothesline, further wearing down Lashley. Despite Lashley's resilience, the duo of Finlay and Regal maintain control, effectively cutting the ring in half and keeping Lashley at bay. However, the momentum shifts when Lashley finds an opening, managing a desperate but crucial tag to the animal. Unleashing his pent-up fury, the animal enters the fray with explosive right hands, quickly turning the tables. The match escalates into chaos, with all competitors engaging in a frenzied exchange of moves, culminating in a spectacular display of double spears and a devastating spinebuster by the animal on Regal, securing the victory. In a post-match moment filled with tension and anticipation for their upcoming encounter, Batista approaches King Booker.
I want to thank you.
Thanks King Booker for holding the title.
But at SummerSlam, I'm going to be needing it back.
But at SummerSlam, he is going to be needing it back.
Bitch, I had to read again, because, bitch, I know you're not talking to me. Bitch, I know you're not talking to me, because, you're not talking about Nate Daniels. You're not talking about Nate Daniels. I told that hoe.
Adorned in his regal attire, made a grand entrance to the ring alongside Queen Sharmell, his presence commanding attention. Addressing the crowd with the authority of royalty.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Booker set his sights on Dave, offering him a stark choice: face a humiliating defeat or come to the ring to discover an alternative that could spare him further embarrassment.
Relinquished the world title due to a small injury.
With the tension thick in the air, Dave didn't keep the audience waiting. He emerged with a determined stride, ready to confront whatever King Booker had in store. Booker, with a smug confidence, proposed that Dave could avoid their impending conflict.
Batista, you heard option A.
By performing a gesture of ultimate submission.
Kiss your king's royal feet.
Bowing down to kiss King Booker's feet, Sharmell, ever the dutiful queen, presented a royal red pillow, upon which she carefully placed Booker's bare foot, prepared for the act of fealty. The crowd watched in suspense as Dave seemed to contemplate his next move. Approaching the foot with a hesitant kneel, it appeared as though he might comply. But in a moment charged with defiance, Dave stomped on Booker's foot instead, igniting the spark for an explosive altercation. He delivered a swift clothesline, sending King Booker tumbling out of the ring, much to the delight of the audience. Assuming control of the situation, Dave took a seat upon King Booker's throne, symbolically claiming victory over the king's attempt to belittle him. King Booker was found in a reflective mood backstage, his royal presence magnified by the arrival of Queen Sharmell. She inquired about his thoughts on such a magnificent evening. King Booker declared that ever since his ascension to the throne, SmackDown has flourished under his reign, emphasizing the necessity to vanquish the peasant and to ensure their return to SmackDown as the pinnacle of power in sports entertainment. Their royal discussion was interrupted by the arrival of Edge, the WWE champion, who mockingly applauded Booker's sentiments. Addressing him as a rogue, King Booker was swiftly retorted by Edge, who pointed out his elitist status as the WWE and WWE Women's Champions, claiming this made them the true reigning couple in sports entertainment. Edge boldly stated his intentions to dominate John Cena in their upcoming match,
just like I bitch-slapped his old man last week.
Comparing his victory to the superiority of the Yankees over the Red Sox, King Booker laid down a royal decree.
You were up for a small wager.
If he retained his title and Edge lost his, then Edge would have to bow down to him on SmackDown
and kiss my royal feet.
Conversely, Edge proposed that should he remain champion and Booker lose, then Booker would serve him on Raw. A deal was struck with the gravity of their titles hanging in the balance. As Edge and Lita departed, King Booker assured that by night's end, their subjects would be united in their chants of
"Long live King Booker!"
In a highly anticipated match at the center of the squared circle, King Booker, adorned with the World Heavyweight Championship, majestically made his entrance to the ring, accompanied by the chants
Tori looked like a lap dancer, main stage.
led by Queen Sharmell. As the bell rang, the intensity between the two gladiators was palpable. Dave and King Booker engaged in a test of strength, with Dave showcasing his superior power early on by pushing Booker into the corner. In a display of defiance, slapped Dave, only to be forcefully shoved to the mat in response. Booker, seeking to regain control, executed a kick to Dave's midsection followed by a side headlock, though Dave quickly countered. A turning point in the match came when Booker attempted his signature spin kick, only for Dave to deliver a thunderous slam. Queen Sharmell, but Booker astutely rolled out of the ring to recuperate. The ensuing moments saw both competitors pushing their limits, with Booker employing a variety of tactics. He locked in a rear naked choke, but Dave's sheer willpower saw him fighting back. The match escalated further with both men exchanging blows and near falls, showcasing their athleticism and desire to emerge victorious. Sharmell's interference became a crucial factor, distracting the referee long enough for Booker to strike Dave with his scepter, yet Dave managed to kick out of the subsequent pin attempt. As the battle raged on, both warriors pulled out all the stops, with Dave managing to counter Booker's scissors kick and nearly securing the win with a jackhammer. However, the climax of the match was marred by controversy when Sharmell, in a desperate attempt to save her husband's title, physically intervened, leading to Dave's victory by disqualification. Dave made a statement by delivering a spinebuster and a bomb to King Booker, standing tall amidst the chorus of boos from the audience who had hoped for a conclusive finish. The match, while ending in disqualification, left an indelible mark on the rivalry between these two titans of the ring. As the show kicks off, the spotlight shines on world champion King Booker, who's majestically positioned in the center of the ring. Accompanied by Queen Sharmell, Finlay, and William Regal, the arena resounds with his lofty proclamation of
All hail King Booker!
King Booker, ever so grateful, extends his royal thanks to the adoring crowd. He proudly declares his triumph over the animal at last Sunday's event.
With my lovely queen by my side, I doused Batista's dreams of becoming world champion.
Asserting that no challenger can threaten his reign, King Booker emphasizes the importance of his royal court.
Without a royal court, there would be no king.
He then formally introduces his loyal knights, Sir Regal and Sir Finlay. The two knights vow to protect their king fiercely, promising to force any adversaries to kiss King Booker's royal pigas. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts as Lashley storms the ring, delivering a powerful spear to Finlay. The crowd erupts as the theme music for the animal blares through the speakers, signaling his arrival. The ring becomes a chaotic battlefield, a true Pier 6 brawl, with bodies flying and the crowd on their feet. Amidst the turmoil, SmackDown, General Manager Teddy Long makes his way to the stage.
I think what we need to do...
Announcing a high-stakes handicap main event for the evening, King Booker, Regal, and Finlay versus the Animal and Lashley. The Animal and Lashley versus King Booker, Regal, and Finlay, with Queen Sharmell the match strength by snapping Finlay over his back and delivering punishing shoulder drives to his opponents. Lashley joins the fray, displaying his own power by overhead pressing Finlay and launching him onto Regal, causing Finlay and Regal to regroup outside the ring. The action resumes with Lashley narrowly missing a pinfall on Regal. Lashley continues to dominate until Regal manages to turn the tide with a timely clothesline. King Booker then enters the ring, delivering a series of royal stomps to Lashley's chest. The intensity escalates as Regal and Finlay team up, effectively wearing down Lashley with quick tags and strategic double teaming. Despite the onslaught, Lashley perseveres, managing a crucial counter on King Booker and tagging in the Animal. The Animal enters with a burst of energy, unleashing powerful right hands and slamming his opponents with remarkable force. As the match nears its climax, King Booker attempts to use his scepter as a weapon, but the Animal intercepts, followed by a spinebuster. The match ends with the Animal and Lashley standing victorious, having overcome the odds in a thrilling and action-packed handicap match. Sending a clear message, the ring was set for a highly anticipated contract signing. With Theodore Long overseeing the proceedings, King Booker, ever the regal performer, addressed his loyal subjects. The crowd erupted in cheers as Dave made his entrance, looking sharp in a suit. King Booker, declaring the rematch to be nothing more than a sham. He ridiculed Dave, calling him a
fraud,
reminding everyone that Dave couldn't defeat him at SummerSlam.
should even breathe the same air, scoundrel.
When Dave attempted to speak, King Booker rudely interrupted, insisting that he never lost the gold to Dave.
I will hit your head on a platter.
Despite Booker's ranting, he eventually signed the contract. Dave, maintaining his composure, pointed out that Booker never actually beat him for the championship. Ignoring Dave's statement, Booker continued to boast. As tensions boiled over, King Booker took a swing at Dave but missed. Seizing the moment, Dave delivered a spinebuster. Determined, Dave executed another spinebuster, this time successfully breaking the table, leaving King Booker sprawled in the wreckage as the crowd roared in approval. The contract signing ended with Dave standing tall, setting the stage for their explosive rematch. World Heavyweight title match, King Booker with Queen Sharmell versus Dave. The match starts with Dave coming out strong, delivering a series of powerful moves that showcase his immense strength and aggression. Dave's early offense leaves King Booker reeling, but the resilient champion fights back, managing to hit the bookend. Dave, however, kicks out with authority. Feeling the pressure, Booker bails out of the ring, regrouping with Queen Sharmell. When we return, Sharmell distracts Dave just long enough for Booker to sneak in and ram Dave into the ring post. With the tide turned, Booker methodically works over Dave, targeting his back and legs to neutralize his power. Dave rallies, drawing energy from the fans as he makes a big comeback. He unleashes a flurry of strikes and power moves. As the momentum shifts, William Regal attempts to interfere. The referee gets distracted by the commotion, allowing Fit Finlay to sneak up on the apron and deliver a crushing blow to Dave's head with the shillelagh. Booker seizes the opportunity, collapsing on top of Dave for the pin, awarding the victory to King Booker, who retains his World Heavyweight title. After the match, Finlay continues his assault on Dave, delivering a brutal and unrelenting beating. Finlay, showing no mercy, mauls Dave with a ferocity that leaves the Animal incapacitated. This vicious attack goes beyond the usual post-match beatdown, emphasizing Finlay's ruthlessness and setting the stage for further conflicts. William Regal is talking to King Booker and Queen Sharmell about Finlay. As they discuss, Finlay walks in.
I must say that you have served your king quite honorably.
King Booker turns to Finlay and says he wants to talk about the upcoming #1 contenders match.
We must discuss this.
Booker expresses his frustration, mentioning that Teddy Long is trying to shake up the court and create chaos among them. Finlay, undeterred, simply responds that he's going to do what he does best.
And that's fight.
King Booker and Queen Sharmell stride confidently into Teddy Long's office, their expressions betraying their displeasure.
But let me let you know something, that is, I'm wise beyond your comprehension.
They waste no time in expressing their dissatisfaction,
And your little plan will not work on the SmackDown Kingdom.
with Booker dominating the conversation, barely allowing Teddy to get a word in. Just as tensions escalate, an unexpected interruption breaks the tension. Vito, clad in a dress, bursts into the room.
This unsightly maiden, a man wouldn't walk around my kingdom dressed like that.
With a mischievous glint in his eye,
Why don't you try me sometime?
Teddy sees an opportunity to diffuse the tension and make things interesting, and announces that the match between Booker and Vito will take place next week. As the tension mounts, Vito raises the hem of his dress with a smirk, leaving everyone wondering what surprises awaits. King Booker and Queen Sharmell are seated ringside, observing the intense clash between Finlay and Bobby Lashley. The match kicks off with Lashley asserting his dominance, backing Finlay into the corner with sheer force. A powerful shoulder thrust sends Finlay sprawling to the mat, prompting him to hastily retreat to the ringside floor to regroup. Returning to the ring, Finlay finds himself on the receiving end of Lashley's relentless offense once again. Despite a brief moment of respite where Finlay manages to send Lashley tumbling outside the ring, upon returning, the momentum shifts as Finlay cunningly targets Lashley's leg, exploiting a vulnerability he identified during the break. Finlay mercilessly slams Lashley's leg into the ring post, setting the stage for a strategic assault. The focus shifts back to the ring as Lashley launches a ferocious comeback, unleashing a barrage of strikes to regain control. A thunderous clothesline to the back of Finlay's head earns Lashley a near fall, followed by a punishing torture rack submission. However, the match takes a chaotic turn as Regal, seizing the opportunity to sway the outcome, introduces a chair into the fray. The distraction proves effective, leading to a sequence of events where the Leprechaun, in a bid to assist Finlay, inadvertently triggers a disqualification post-match. The beatdown begins as Finlay and Regal lay into Lashley. Just when things look dire, charges down the ramp wielding a steel pipe, ready to even the odds. In the chaos, Lashley seizes the opportunity and delivers a devastating spear to King Booker, sending him crashing to the floor. A black limousine glides to a halt outside the ECW arena. The door swings open, and King Booker emerges first, followed closely by Queen Sharmell, radiating elegance. Paul Heyman greets them with a bow and gestures for them to follow him inside. He extends a hand to escort them on a tour of the ECW facilities. Heyman is with King Booker and Queen Sharmell, noting how they add class to the product.
Who is this?
As they walk, they encounter
That's Balls Mahoney. Balls. Balls.
King Booker and Queen Sharmell are visibly insulted by his presence.
Everything I do is balls to the wall.
Heyman quickly apologizes and they leave, continuing their tour.
It's all uphill from here.
Heyman is with King Booker and Queen Sharmell again. As they walk, they encounter the FBI and Trinity.
What's up, royalty?
Who is this Jezebel?
That's Trinity. Thank you very much, Trinity.
Exchanging brief greetings. They then meet CM Punk,
So you're a punk.
who introduces himself, saying he's
I'm CM Punk. I'm straight edge.
straight edge, with no drinking or drugs. He mentions his love for competition and expresses his desire.
Someday soon, compete against you.
After a brief exchange, they part ways and continue their tour. Heyman is continuing the tour with King Booker and Queen Sharmell
I know who this is.
when they run into Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam.
King Booker acknowledges RVD, who responds by calling him
Book.
which irritates the king. RVD questions Booker's presence in ECW, asking if he's there for competition.
Are you out of your mind? Would mop the floor with you.
RVD asserts that in ECW, King Booker will need to prove himself. Queen Sharmell retorts,
Let me tell you something, RVD. Why don't you show this rogue what you're made of?
she asks if RVD wants to joust with the king. RVD agrees,
No, let's make your introduction proper. Extreme Rules.
proposing an Extreme Rules match, but Heyman reassures him that he'll be fine. Rob Van Dam versus King Booker with Queen Sharmell. King Booker and RVD grapple in the corner. King Booker lands some powerful rights, followed by knee strikes and chops. RVD counters with forearm shots and boots. After an Irish whip reversal, RVD hits with a back elbow. King Booker asserts his dominance by forcefully shoving Rob Van Dam off the turnbuckle, sending him crashing to the outside of the ring. Inside the ring, Booker continues his relentless attack, but Van Dam counters swiftly with a lightning-fast roundhouse kick that catches Booker off guard. Undeterred, Booker regains momentum and executes his signature royal spin-a-rooney to the delight of his loyal subjects, but Van Dam turns the tide with a well-timed dropkick, maintaining his offensive onslaught. Van Dam presses his advantage, delivering a split-legged moonsault, but Booker manages to kick out. In a desperate attempt to regain control, Booker cunningly catapults Van Dam directly into a steel chair. Booker seizes the opportunity to attempt a piledriver onto another nearby chair, but Van Dam reverses with a quick maneuver, causing her to crash spine first onto the unforgiving steel. Van Dam summons his aerial prowess, thrilling the crowd with his iconic 5-star frog splash, but before he can capitalize on the pin, Hardcore Holly rushes into the ring, wielding a chair as a weapon, and follows up with his devastating Alabama slam. Seizing the opening, Booker rises to his feet and delivers his patented scissors kick to a down Rob Van Dam, securing the victory in a hard-fought and intense Extreme Rules match. Teddy Long, standing on the phone and seemingly pleased to be on the CW network, is interrupted as King Booker and Queen Sharmell make a grand entrance.
What brings royalty to my office?
However, Queen Sharmell appears displeased and quickly draws Teddy's attention to King Booker's hands,
Look at them!
I'm looking at him, I mean,
emphasizing their royal cleanliness, untainted by the commoner's grime.
well, I mean, I'm down with that. I think every king should have a manicure.
King Booker, visibly offended,
The point is that he is
expresses his disdain at the prospect of facing Vito.
the man that wears a dress
In a dramatic fashion,
upon my wife.
citing the elegance of Queen Sharmell's attire crafted by the finest hands. Teddy tries to interject by noting Vito's undefeated streak in the dress,
But I tell you what,
understanding King Booker's position.
Vito has willingly stepped aside.
Queen Sharmell reinforces this by asserting that King Booker would have swiftly defeated Vito. Teddy then reveals that King Booker's new opponent will be
The Undertaker.
This announcement abruptly shifts King Booker's
Hell no! That's Teddy! You better bang your It ain't going down like this, dog!
world title match, The Undertaker versus King Booker W, Queen Sharmell. The match begins with The Undertaker and King Booker circling each other as Booker tries to stay away. JBL and Cole emphasize Taker's striking ability. King Booker initially runs from the ring but gains control with some rights. He boots Taker, but Taker counters with a clothesline, sending Booker to the floor. Taker slams Booker into the steps. Back from the break, Taker is in control, hitting a big boot. He applies a wrist lock and works Booker's arm with elbows. Taker powers Booker up with one arm and drops him. He focuses on Booker's kidneys before returning to the arm. Taker attempts old school, but Booker fights back. Booker tries for a superplex, but Taker headbutts him off. Queen Sharmell distracts the ref, allowing Booker to hit a low blow and a superplex, swinging the momentum in his favor. He hits a scissors kick and covers for 2. Booker lands stiff rights. Booker chops Taker and sends him to the floor. He attacks off the apron, slamming Taker into the steps. Back in the ring, Booker hits a dropkick and covers for 2. Taker fights back with rights. Booker counters with a royal DDT for a near fall. Taker sits up, and Booker's rights have no effect. Taker battles back, but Booker thumbs his eye, misses a leg lariat, and Taker hits a big lariat for 2. Taker hits snake eyes followed by a running big boot and a leg drop, covering for 2. Taker goozles Booker, who elbows out. Booker counters a tombstone attempt with a low blow, causing a DQ. Post-match, King Booker grabs his title and nails Taker. He and Queen Sharmell try to leave, but Lashley appears and throws Booker back into the ring. Taker is up and goozles Booker, hitting a chokeslam followed by a tombstone. The show ends with Taker standing tall over Booker.